Since this is a video that I'm recording for YouTube, and I'm well aware of the hazards of talking honestly on YouTube especially about certain things, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make my comments as broad and as inexact as possible, but it should be clear to those who are reading with the correct pair of eyes, or hearing with the correct pair of ears, I should say, since this is an audio transmission. It should be clear the sort of ramifications of what I'm saying. But if it isn't clear, the video I just recorded on and uploaded on BitChute should make it much more clear. Let me just say, I believe that as a general rule, certain things are done to the public that, how shall I say this? The purpose that they say that these exercises are for and what they may actually be for are two very different things. Now, being just a lowly member of the public and not a member of the PTB or the PTSB, the powers that shouldn't be, I can only make it comes down to making an educated guess about what the true purpose of certain things are. But when you consider that, let us say, a certain campaign which was waged at some point in the not too distant past, which affected all of our lives, that this certain campaign was recently found, let's just say, I'm just saying hypothetically speaking, in a fictitious world that has nothing at all to do with the world that we live in. Let's just say we're thinking about a world, another world, and then this other world, the rulers, the princes and principalities and dominions, how's it go? The thrones, powers, and principalities all decide that a certain very radical campaign that affects everybody's life must take place because of stated goal A, that a certain emergency has arisen and it must be addressed. So therefore, this necessitates this extreme measure which affects everybody's life. And let us say a short time later, let's say a span of a couple years later, it's found and widely published, the findings are widely published, that this campaign didn't work in the way that they said it was supposed to work. It never had the effect that they said it was supposed to have. It didn't protect people the way that it was supposed to have protected people. Well, there are two ways to respond to that. The first way is to say, well, I guess they tried. I guess they wanted to do the right thing by us, and they figured we had to take this extreme measure in order to do right by us, the general population, whom they care deeply about, whose health and safety they treasure as a mother would treasure the health and safety of her own child. That's how much our ruling class treasures our health and safety. That they did it out of the best of intentions, but it turned out it didn't do any good at all. And it did a lot of harm because the extreme measures affected a lot of people in a negative way. And caused or provoked a lot of negative behavior from people. Okay, the one response is to say, oh, well, they did their best. They're doing their best. They tried. We shouldn't hold this against them. Second possibility is they don't really love us the way that a mother loves her child. That, in fact, they are indifferent towards us at best. And this extreme measure was never meant to work in the way that they said it was supposed to work. Rather, it was intended all along to be an exercise by which people would be made miserable, and not only made miserable but malleable. That the effect that putting this extreme measure into place would cause people to believe that something really extreme was going on. That these desperate measures were a response to a truly desperate crisis, and therefore their minds snapped into this mode whereby they could be made malleable and brought along on the agenda that the ruling class wanted them to get on. So, in other words, they were never meant to work. And a short time later, they allow that news to get out that these measures were never meant to work, because, again, they have to tell the truth. As I've said before, in order to make us all culpable in their lies, they have to make us go along with them when we could know better, when we should know better, and that is the whole purpose of what's called the revelation of the method. The way in which we should have known, but we didn't know because we didn't look into it. We didn't look into it because we wanted not to be ostracized, and we wanted to, as Patrick Bateman says, to fit in. Interesting, they would make a murderous psychopath say those words, "I want to fit in." But significant, wouldn't you say? Anyhow, none of this is in any way even faintly relevant to the real world in which we're living, unless it is, in which case you might want to visit my BitChute channel, where I speak a bit more explicitly about this completely hypothetical subject. Thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. Please check out my work at altrightnovelist.com. My latest book, The Insurrectionist, can be purchased from terrorhousepress.com.